Hi, it's Miss Megan back with another story time. One of the topics we're going to be talking about this month is a new continent. So for the month of April, we're going to be talking about the continent of Asia. That's our yellow continent. It's the biggest continent in the world. And one of the countries we're going to be talking about this week is China. It's in this area of the continent, and it's a very big, very old country. So for our story time this week, we have a book called Living in China. It's about a little boy who lives in the country of China, and we're going to find out what his life is like and what it's like to live in this country. Ni hao. That means hi in Mandarin Chinese. My name is Jin, and I live in China. China is a country in Asia where more than 1 billion people live, including me. China is a very big country. It is the 4th largest country in the world. Because of its size, China is home to all sorts of deserts, mountains, rainforests, and rivers. Few people live in northwestern China. In the north is the Gobi Desert, one of the largest deserts in the world. In the west are the Himalayan mountains. Many of the highest mountains on earth are part of this mountain range, which crosses through 5 countries. Look at the difference between a hot desert and snowy mountaintops. Southern China and its islands are home to rainforests. The rainforests are filled with animals such as tigers, monkeys, and elephants. China's longest rivers, the Yellow and the Yangtze, run through central and eastern China. Most people live in eastern China in cities along the coast. Remember, the coast is where land meets water. China has some big cities. Shanghai is among the biggest cities in the world. More than 24 million people live there. Hong Kong is also big. It has the most skyscrapers of any city in the world. Xi'an is one of the oldest cities in China. Many cool museums and artifacts from China's history can be found there. Beijing is our capital. My favorite part of Beijing is the Forbidden City. It is a huge palace where the emperor once lived. I live in a city in eastern China called Hangzhou. I live with my mom, dad, and Aunt June in an apartment. Hangzhou is famous for its beautiful lake, Sihu, and many temples. My mom works at a bank, and dad works for a power company. Aunt June moved in with us last year. She came in to find a good job. In China, many people move to big cities to find better jobs. Each morning, I wake up, brush my teeth, and put on my school uniform. Then I meet my family in the kitchen for breakfast. Today, we are eating noodles with eggs and spring greens. In China, we eat most of our food with chopsticks. Have you ever eaten with chopsticks? After breakfast, I take the public bus to school with my dad. School starts at 7:30, and there are 35 kids in my class. Our first lesson is about China's history. Remember, history is what has happened before now, the things that have happened before you were born and started living your life. People have been living in China for at least 40,000 years. In 221 BCE, Emperor Qin brought many parts of China together. He began building the Great Wall to protect China from Mongol tribes in the north. In 206 BCE, the Han Dynasty came to power. A dynasty is a family that rules a country for a long time, sometimes hundreds of years. During the Han Dynasty, there were great improvements in farming. Over the next 1,000 years, dynasties came and went. Under the Tang Dynasty, China had a great military. The Song Dynasty focused on art and science. Then in 1271, the Mongols invaded China. "100 years later, a peasant brought the people together and overthrew the Mongols. The peasant founded the Ming Dynasty and finished building the Great Wall of China. China's last ruling dynasty ended in 1912. The people rebelled against the emperor and created a new government. Today, people in China vote for their representatives. So they stopped having kings and queens and started choosing people to make the laws, just like we do here in the United States. You recognize the Great Wall of China? You've probably seen it before. My favorite part of history is learning about all of China's great inventions. The Chinese are credited with inventing paper, printing, silk, and fireworks. A Tang emperor is even said to have made the first ice cream. After history class, we have math and reading. Then it's lunchtime. I'm eating white rice, pork, and dull cabbage. Next, it's time for science class. In science class, we're learning about animals and plants from prehistoric times. Remember the Gobi Desert? 80 million years ago, the Gobi Desert was home to dinosaurs. Every year, scientists dig in the desert and find dinosaur eggs and bones. Next, I have English and computer class. On other days of the week, I also have art, music, and gym class. School ends at 4 o'clock, but today I'm staying late for extra help on homework. My dad picks me up and we buy baozi to eat on the walk to the bus stop. Baozi are steamed buns with different fillings. Mine has onions, rice, and pork. Yum! When we get home, my dad and I talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow is the Dragon Boat Festival. We celebrate the poet Chu Yuan, who lived more than 2,000 years ago. Each year, people race dragon boats and eat tasty rice dumplings called zhongzhu. I have the day off from school, so my dad and I are going to see the race. I'm so excited. Aunt June and I set the table for dinner. My dad made vegetables, rice, and a fish in vinegar gravy sauce. We will also have soup after dinner. It looks delicious. After dinner, I get ready for bed. I flip through my mom's old passport book and look at all the places she's been. When I grow up, I want to visit lots of countries too. Would you like to visit China someday? And in our last page, we can see the flag of China. That's it for our story time. I'll see you later. Bye.